What are your guys' biggest fears?
My biggest fear is spiders.
Oh, yeah. My biggest fear is just all bugs in general. But the dark is scary too. So.
What is your biggest fear?
Snakes. No, clowns. No, wait. Clown snakes.
Alright, what is your biggest fear?
Man, I gotta say clowns, man. Especially haunted houses, bro. They be like, bah! You know, do that.
What is your biggest fear?
I have to say probably drowning. That's
My biggest fear is public speaking.
I don't know what my biggest fear is.
What is your biggest fear?
Girls? Wait, what? Wait, what?
yogurts. Yogurts should be banned from the earth.
My biggest fear is not the fear of heights, but the fear of falling.
Can you at least give me time to think about it?
Yes.
On camera?
Yeah. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is failing to finish well. That's my biggest fear.
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is students who come and ask me questions, but then I don't know the answer.
Hang on.
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is having to work in aftercare for the rest of my life.
Hey!
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is that I'll die lonely and no one will ever love me.
What is your biggest fear?
Dying.
What is your biggest fear?
Spiders.
So my biggest fear is anarchy, mostly student-run anarchy. Biggest fear.
My biggest fear is some people in my family not being saved when they die.
What is your biggest fear?
Holding cords to microphones while following people.
My biggest fear is probably not getting everything done on time.
What is your biggest fear?
Clowns.
What is your biggest fear?
Clowns with knives.
So what is this one about?
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. I think my biggest fear would be concern over my sons, maybe not living out their calling in Christ and following Him. That they would, that they might turn their back on the Lord. That'd probably be my biggest fear.
What is your biggest fear?
I think that my biggest fear would be being up on stage and not remembering what to do or say.
What's my biggest fear? I mean, just drowning. In the water. Because, think about it. If you drown in the water, you can't breathe.
You're dead.
You're dead, okay?
Okay,
You're dead.
So you just like that.
Dead. Okay?
Yeah.
What is your biggest fear?
Are you talking to me or do you want to
I'm talking to you.
What?
What is your biggest fear?
Shotgun mics in my face. Like really close to my face. That's better.
That's not that close.
Yeah. So what else?
What is your biggest fear?
my biggest fear. Centipedes.
Fear. What is your biggest fear? 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 What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear, getting lost. Getting lost.
Keep walking. What is your biggest fear?
Spiders.
What is your biggest fear?
Are you saying you're fearless, Sam?
What?
Are you saying you're fearless?
Yeah.
Whoa.
What is your biggest fear?
Probably Coach Williams.
What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is getting kicked in the head and getting another concussion.
My biggest fear is probably drowning. And like dying.
Drowning.
Or like, yeah.
What is your biggest fear? What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is just really cringy memes and the people that like them. It's just, I'm afraid of that.
What is your biggest fear?
Falling off a cliff.
Hey, Jeremy, what is your biggest fear?
Heights.
My biggest fear is... It's on the spot. I have to really think about it. It's right, nothing. I'm not afraid of anything. I get anxious.
Not even God?
I fear God, yeah, that's true. I fear God. And I get anxious about things, but I don't fear anything. Not even death. Because death can attack us, but it can't have us.
Ooh.
What is your biggest fear, Titus?
And that's why the mandible is connected to the patella bone.
What
Hi.
is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear would be failing this anatomy quiz test that I have tomorrow.
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear? I don't really have a biggest fear. I guess being buried alive in a coffin.
What is your biggest fear?
I ain't got none. I'm not scared of anything.
My biggest fear is losing my mom because, like, she been there through it all. And I already lost my dad, so it's like, if you lose your mom, it's like, you don't know who you have anymore. Yeah.
Mr. O'Keefe, what's your biggest fear?
I thought I already told you. I have no fears.
My biggest fear is not making an impact on at least one person.
You know that guy in the...
I have no idea.